My name is Naoyama Dimbulukeni. I'm the youngest person here amongst the three. However, I'm a land activist and we are very serious about this.
My name is Edina Janje. It's Job Shipuro Kananjeb. Itana Yampanda Nimi. I'm an activist involved in answering difficult questions in society. I'm the suspended member and leader of the Sober Party Youth League. But for the purposes of our discussion, I'm a land activist.
Yeah, my name is George Hitipohamba Kambala, and I'm a land activist, and also at the same time representing the marginalized and disadvantaged Namibian youth at large. Thank you.
Well, you know, discussing this issue, it's very sensitive to our heart. And I mean, a lot of people have been running away from this topic. Most of you are probably wondering why the three of us. We get questions like, why didn't you invite us? We get questions like, why is it only guys? Who is the 50-50? But however, this is not a structure that is run by the party. This was done in individual capacity. Why the three of us? If you read books, you'll be guided to see that, you see, there's always those that are willing to sacrifice for the rest in order for the others and the majority to benefit. Henceforth, we've decided the three to be sacrificed in the benefit of the majority.
Of course, building on what Dee stated, to give the context, revolution and the revolutionary actions are not necessarily about roses and flowers, are not about fun, are not about clapping hands, are not about, you know, celebrity moments and all those things, taking pictures and all those things. These are serious things. And if you are to go to any battle, you have to be serious, and you would have to be very clear and see and ask yourself that if I fall, this person that I'm going to a battle with, will they be able to continue the struggle? Look, the land issue, perhaps maybe to set the context as to what is basically happening. In the 1800s, the white people came to our continent in general. I think after the Berlin Conference of 1884, 1885, those white people sat there in Berlin, and they decided that Africa must be partitioned in the areas and spheres of interest of these white people. They gave Namibia, the then Southwest Africa, to Germany, together with Togo and Cameroon, and I think in Tanzania also. So those Germans came and they established themselves here as a first source of obviously we understand the history that it began with the Dutch East India Company involved in mercantile and capitalist activities, but their profits and their activities begin to be threatened. When those activities begin to be threatened, they went to their government to ask for protection. They asked for soldiers to protect their properties and to protect their interests. Surely, as time went on, they begin to see that there is indeed lucrative opportunities for them, so that they can feed their parent companies back in Germany and other places. So they began settling properly and establishing the then Southwest Africa, currently Namibia, as a German colony. You understand that history, that they took land and they forced our people to work in those in the farms, in the railways, basically so that they can engage, they feed the capitalist system that they've established in our colony. And they took the land, of course. When they took the land, our people did not necessarily have a problem with seeing white people walking around. They had a problem with white people occupying the land and threatening their very livelihood. The situation became so untenable, such that they decided that they need to engage the Germans. These, we are talking about the likes of Hendrik Witbooi, we are talking about of King Nehale Jampingana, Chief Mandume Andemfao, and many other traditional leaders who took up arms and fought the Germans. In that history, we understand it very well. But they were not fighting for shopping malls. They were not fighting for any other things. They were fighting to get rid of the intruder. That intruder who was in our country, the then Southwest Africa, which is currently Namibia. The First World War was going on. And as the First World War was going on, Germany lost that war, and the colonies were given to the British. Germany lost all the former colonies, and we became a British colony. And the British colony gave the mandate to the Boers of South Africa, that period of 1915, so that we can be a mandate. Yeah, in that period now, obviously taking place like that. Now, as these things continue, the apartheid South African forces continued with the German, and they took over our land. Yeah, and you would read the literature to tell you about several million hectares of our land. The Afrikaners had this problem of Arambul, the poor Afrikaner. They did not know what they would do with this problem of poor Afrikaners. So they gave them about close to 20 million hectares of Namibian land to the poor and uneducated Afrikaners. And they had Swanla, and they had all these things at their disposal. And they colonized because they needed to feed their capitalists, because the modus operandi of the Germans and the Boers continued to be the same. And they took the land, they created the police zone, they created the Batunstan, they implemented the policy of apartheid, where they segregated our people, and they had the brutal legislation that they did. Our revolutionaries, led by Sam Nujoma and other revolutionaries, stood up under the banner of the SWAPO party to say this cannot be. We can't allow the Boer to be occupying our land. So we need to ensure that we fight the Boer. And the struggle was about land. The struggle was not about shopping malls. The struggle was not about all these cosmetic things that are happening now. The struggle was about land. And land is a master means of production. So they took up the struggle, and they fought bravely, and they fought heroically, and they won, and we got our independence on 21st March 1990. In 1991,